I'm in Reykjavik. That was freaking awesome. All right, I'm in Reykjavik. I just completed customs here, and it was unquestionably the fastest, easiest, and most polite, non-aggressive customs experience I've ever had. It was lovely. He did his job, but he was polite and nice, and I wonder why it can't always be like that. There's probably a good reason, but I don't know what it is. It's time. It's time to go meet everyone. Everyone's here. We are gonna go have our initial orientation with our guide. His name is Thor. We're gonna meet him and go to dinner. And tomorrow, welcome dinner. I got to meet everyone. I knew a few of them already because they're repeat travelers. One is one of my childhood friends. I'm so lucky. Everyone on these trips is always so freaking cool. And I'm always so worried that, there's going to be a problem child, but there never is, or at least not yet. Everyone's so fun, so cool. So I'm excited to spend the next 6 days with them. We went to dinner. It was really good. My vegetarian dinner was awesome. It was like barley crab cake without a crab. I don't know what to call it. It didn't taste like a crab cake, but it was like kind of that shape and consistency, and it was really good. And then there were a bunch of really good like grilled cabbage, and it was just all delicious. And then we went to have a drink just in the hotel bar. There's a chance the Northern Lights will be out tonight, but it's looking like it might be a little cloudy. So tonight probably is not the night, but that is what we are laser focused on. But our expectations, we're trying to keep them in check because there's no guarantees. It is entirely possible that we will leave here having not seen the Northern Lights. So we'll hope for the best. There's still plenty to see. It's certainly not the only reason to come here. So we will surely be slightly disappointed if we don't see them, but I bet we'll still have a good time. Okay, I need to go to bed. Tomorrow is day one, and we got a lot going on tomorrow. We got a big day, so I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Morning, it's day one. Let's go. I'm not gonna say I want to get out there. Let's go.
Yeah, that's stone there. I've been following you for a while on Instagram. I found you through My Busy Kitchen.
I think I saw your video where you were dancing down the bridge and Dirty Dancing.
I watched Jeffrey's documentary on Amazon Prime.
You had been doing trips, and I was like, if anyone else thinks that Jeffrey is funny, they're probably gonna be pretty cool people that I'm gonna get along with.
So when I told my mom that I was going to Iceland, she was like, I wanna go.
I've actually known Jeff my whole life. We grew up on separate farms, like 5-ish miles from each other. When I saw he was going to Iceland itself has been like on my bucket list for, I don't know, 8 to 10 years or something. Never, ever, ever thought that I would come. Literally was just kind of like last on the list, almost thinking that it was just like an impossibility for me. The finances were like kind of basically provided by my money from my mom's estate, who passed away a few months ago. The money from that came in at literally almost the exact time that one more spot opened up. And so I said yes. I was really excited to see Jeff face to face and hug him. My mom just passed away in April of 2023, and so it's really fresh in my heart and my mind. And Jeff and I don't share the same blood, but I have this kind of part of my like grief journey and like healing through the loss of my mom is like reconnecting with people who knew her and knew me. And I think I actually miss Jeff's mom more than I miss my own mom. And so being around Jeff, hearing his voice and his laugh and laughing like with him and sharing stories and just has really connected me to my mom. This was a trip to honor her in one of the only ways I really know how to honor her. So I was really excited just to see Jeff face to face since it had been a really long time.
So on the way here, we got a little bit about the history of the origin of Iceland. And this is Thingvellir National Park. I'm sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, but this is where their original parliament used to meet in the early days of Iceland. Vikings came here, settled here, Norse Vikings, and there's a lot of other drama that I won't get into, partly because I don't remember it. But this is where all the leaders once per year would come here. They would set up tents and whatnot and hold a yearly parliament. And interestingly, they had no written laws at that time. They had established laws, but they hadn't written them down. But there was a person whose role was to memorize their laws, basically to memorize their constitution. And every year, that guy in front of a cliff that we'll go see in a second would recite the entire thing for everyone to remind everyone of the laws, and then they would hold parliament and make decisions. So super interesting. So this is the spot I was talking about where they would recite the laws every year. I guess they did it next to the rock cliff so that the sound reverberated out, but it's 11 a.m., 11:15, and we just saw the sun come up, sunrise. And what was also pretty cool was that there was a lake, and it was in what kind of looked like a valley, but we learned that is actually a giant, I don't know if fissure is the right word, but it is where the Eurasian tectonic plate is pulling away from the North American tectonic plate, and that is why it's sunken and low. Now the whole valley is a giant, I guess, fissure or gap between two tectonic plates, but there's also a lot of like small ones that you can see where the rocks have like been pulled apart, where the earth has just been pulled apart. In fact, we walked through one. The path that we were on walked through one at one point. It was really cool really cool to see that so close. It's an interesting time to be in Iceland because of all the volcanic activity, but we also learned tons about how that works, how the mountains form, how I can't remember what they're called, the dome mountains, magma comes up, but it's under the ice sheets, the glaciers, it gets trapped, and then once the ice sheets melted, it left some of the mountains that we saw today. Visitor center. Go see not the biggest, but one of the bigger waterfalls in Iceland. It's beautiful. We already got a little bit of a glimpse from the road. We were warned about the wind. It was windy earlier, but the wind has arrived. It is cold here, but it actually doesn't get crazy cold here. Apparently it doesn't often get too far below zero. The thing is, because it's surrounded by ocean on all sides, at the end of the day, this is just a big volcanic island, the wind is wild. And we didn't really experience it at our first stop, but at the waterfalls, we experienced it. It was pretty chilly. the main geyser, which is now dormant, so it wasn't erupting, apparently, historically, it was one of, if not the first geysers that was discovered, at least to Eurasians, Europeans and Asians. It is where the term geyser comes from. The geyser we're at today is called Geysir, or however they say it, but that is why we call them geysers, is because this one was first named that, and that's what we call them now. So although the main one is dormant and has been for a while, there was another one that goes off every 4 to 10 minutes. And unlike Old Faithful in Yellowstone in the US that shoots and continues shooting for a while, this geyser erupts in one big burst, sometimes 2 bursts. Apparently, sometimes if you're lucky, you can see 3. You can see it gurgling. You can tell that like something's happening and something's gonna go down, and then a huge bubble forms and it and blows up into the air. That was pretty cool. We just got to a hot spring spa situation called the Secret Lagoon. He was not on the itinerary, but our guide, who's from here, actually grew up in the US, was born here, grew up in the US and France and other things. Such an interesting guy. Anyway, he told us about this. I was like, well, do you want to go? It's like $20. Yes, I want to go. And shockingly, this was really fascinating to me because, former farm boy here, there's a lot of agriculture here, a lot more agriculture than I would have expected, but it's all in a greenhouse. It's all, I think, almost at least, out here, but they are shockingly self-sufficient. Even like berries, strawberries, raspberries, they don't grow everything here, but they grow a lot in greenhouses. So anyway, we just found out that we can have a cocktail in this hot spring. This is my kind of guy. That was freaking awesome. That was so cool. They had beverages, adult variety beverages, and we just chilled. It was awesome. It's just hot springs with a pebble bottom. And did I mention we had cocktails? We're just waiting on one person. We're about to leave, and then we are headed to the hotel. We're at the new hotel tonight. We got out of the van, and there were fireworks in the middle of nowhere, like at the hotel. And I was like, well, that's interesting. How cool. Turns out the fireworks were for us, like because we had just arrived. It's like a thing here, I guess. So I gotta Google that. I gotta get on my Googler and find out what that is, because last night in Reykjavik, I also heard fireworks. And I was like, surely that's not fireworks. And it was. So Iceland, what's up with your fireworks? I love it. Why am I not always greeted everywhere with fireworks? That's my question. I think my friends have some stepping up to do. I want fireworks way more often. That's a way to arrive. But we had dinner, and now it's time to go to bed. It is only 9 o'clock, but there is a chance, a better than usual chance, that we might be able to see the Northern Lights somewhere between 5 and 7 a.m. The activity should be high. The KP scale, which is the scale they use to predict or to indicate how likely viewing the Northern Lights are to appear, the KP is high, index is high, between 5 and 7. And it looks like it might be clear skies. So if both of those things align, we might see the Northern Lights. If not, we've still got 4 or 5 more days. But because of that, we are all getting to bed early because we hopefully are up at the ass crack of dawn to see those aurora borealis. I can't wait. But we might not see it. I gotta keep my expectations in check. It might not happen. And that's okay, Iceland. I guess you have other redeeming qualities. Good night. Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?